You sit in a pitch-black room. The silence is absolute. And then, without warning, the darkness erupts into a shifting, hyperdimensional geometry. This is the threshold of what the late ethnobotanist Terence McKenna categorized as the heroic dose. It requires a highly specific set of parameters, exactly 5 dried grams of psilocybin mushrooms, consumed alone, in total silent darkness. At this dosage, the visual cortex replaces your physical surroundings with a completely new environment. Psychonauts refer to this space as hyperspace. It is defined by impossible folding architecture and colors so highly saturated they seem to glow from within. But the geometry is only the backdrop. As you navigate this shifting space, you quickly realize you are not alone. Something is in there with you, waiting to interact. Thousands of individuals, separated by decades and geography, report identical encounters with these autonomous entities. The consistency is too precise to write off as random chemical noise. To understand why different brains ingest the same molecule and meet the exact same beings, we have to map the physical mechanics of the mind. McKenna famously described the inhabitants of this space as self-transforming machine elves. They appear to the user as autonomous, dynamic structures that rapidly fold and unfold in front of the observer. Their primary trait is that they are hyperlinguistic. According to experiential reports, these entities do not communicate with standard sound. They sing physical reality into existence. They project visible syntax, creating objects out of geometric language, and they actively demand your participation. The entities urge the observer to do what they are doing, to use the vocal cords and the mind to generate visible structure. It is a highly interactive, demanding dialogue. You might expect a confrontation with an alien intelligence to be terrifying, yet the overwhelming majority of users report an immediate wash of joy, unconditional love, and a profound sense of being welcomed home. At the same time, the entities often display an erratic, playful demeanor. They dart around the peripheral vision, juggle impossible objects, and manipulate the environment like cosmic tricksters pulling a prank. The recurring appearance of these joyful, singing, shape-shifting creators suggests that these visions are not random. The uniformity of the experience across so many subjects points to a specific internal mechanism being activated inside the brain. Under extreme tryptamine doses, the brain's internal filters collapse. Thalamic gating fails, rushing a massive flood of geometric data straight into the visual cortex. Waiting inside is the fusiform face area, a hardwired engine optimized to find human faces. Slammed by the chaotic flood of hyperspace geometry, the hyperactive FFA goes into overdrive. It forces extreme pareidolia, desperately organizing the fractal noise into distinct bodily forms, eyes and faces. The entity takes shape. Concurrently, the dosage dismantles the default mode network. This is the circuit responsible for maintaining your ego, the boundary separating you from the outside world. With that network offline, the brain loses the ability to tag its own internally generated imagery as belonging to the self. The moment the FFA detects a face, a secondary system called the theory of mind network kicks in. This is our social programming. It instantly assigns independent intentions, intelligence, and emotions to that face, so we know how to interact with it. The alien intelligence speaking to you is your own projected social software. Because the brain's self-recognition systems have crashed, you perceive your own innate intelligence as a completely external, autonomous being. That explains the biology of the hallucination. But it leaves a lingering psychological question. If the brain is projecting its own software, take the form of tricksters like cosmic creators and maternal guides. In the early 20th century, psychiatrist Carl Jung mapped out a framework for this exact phenomenon. He proposed the existence of archetypes, ancient, universal themes and symbols residing in a shared reservoir of humanity's psychological inheritance. Modern neuroscience views these archetypes as dormant evolutionary strategies drawn from a shared human history. The trickster promotes cognitive flexibility. The maternal guide activates subcortical attachment and safety systems. They are structural patterns hardwired into our biology to help us survive. Normally, these deep programs are suppressed by the conscious ego, so you can navigate daily life. But when the heroic dose completely disables the ego, those ancient archetypal programs bubble up to the surface and populate your visions. McKenna's machine elves align with the roles of the creator and trickster archetypes. They act as personified visual interfaces for the brain's deepest problem-solving networks, offering comfort, demanding participation, and breaking down rigid mental structures. Crossing the threshold of the heroic dose does not teleport the user to another dimension. It strips away the modern ego, allowing the observer a rare, unfiltered audience with the oldest and most foundational architecture of human consciousness itself.